Well, we are live, Mark. It's so good to see you today. We are the Art of Encouragement, and it's another Friday, May 23rd, 2025. If you're watching us, hey, hope you're having a great day. We're here to encourage you.
We are, and it's what you have in your heart that what you can share with people around you. And I'm so glad, Nick, that you and I we get to do this. It's not that we, like another show. No, no, no. We get to do it, and it's a great blessing.
Yes, it's a privilege that people listen to us, that they connect with us. It's an honor that now they've bought some people two of our books or three of our books, and soon four. So I'm excited to be here with you today. We were talking before we started broadcasting just about those different seasons,
Mm,
and how sometimes different places, they bring something out in us or they stir something. What's been going
yeah.
on with you?
Yeah, I have felt this shift today and just the last 24 hours. A lot of things are changing in the world, a lot of things are happening. And I feel that I think divine guidance is on point, speaking to everyone's heart, everyone's mind. So, my question to you, if you're watching or listening, is are you listening to the divine guidance? What is it telling you? Is it telling you you're on the right path? Is it saying that you're not alone? Keep going. What is it telling you? Perhaps this is your reminder that there's a divine love that everyone have access to, and I know today is very spiritual, a very spiritual feeling, and I'm glad. I'm glad. So I feel there's a shift in understanding about my personal spiritual journey, and I'm just happy to share with you. I think there's a lot that is happening. So I feel the blessings. I feel the nudges, and I do feel there's some kind of shift happening. Just don't know what it is just yet.
That's amazing. And as you are experiencing this, what do you feel? Let's see here. You got to, there we go. We're added back to the stage there. Sorry about that. Um, you know, that shift that you're talking about, Mark, it sounds to me as though it's sacred. That's the word that's just coming into my spirit, a sacred shift. And the cool thing is that not everyone is awake enough to even recognize when that divine shift happens. But you are, my friend, and you're
Yeah,
tuning in, and that's powerful.
yeah, I, yeah. I feel that just
Awareness.
yeah, awareness, prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of time just listening, listening. I read this story yesterday. There was talking. Two people were talking. Um, um, a young girl and a woman were talking, and they were talking to find out where do I find God? Where do I find divinity? And the woman said to the young girl, "If you just sit silently and listen, God, you get to hear God, and God enjoys it, enjoys this time that you give." And I thought, well, that's so powerful. It's not that we get something, but also we give something, and it's just so amazing. And it's incredible. I just feel so blessed to talk about this, and I know we are very spiritual. We are both men of faith, and I think it's a big part of who we are.
It is. And what's just kind of speaking to me right now, Mark, is that this spiritual clarity that you're experiencing right now, It doesn't come every day.
No.
It comes like a whisper at
Mhm.
first, and I'm trying to remember, and I apologize. Yes, I've been in ministry for years. No, I do not have the entire Bible memorized, but the passage where there's a still small voice. Um, he says where he tells him to go out to a mountain before the Lord, and then there's the strong wind, you know, but God, that voice wasn't in the hurricane, it wasn't in
Mm.
the earthquake, and it wasn't in the fire, but it was a still small voice. That's I've preached on this before, but I can't recall the scripture. I think it's in Kings somewhere. But you know, that is one of the things that is just coming to my spirit, that you've been that. You've been listening, and no, I know that you're not Elijah, but that gentle whisper that spoke to Elijah is what you're hearing. I'll bet that that still small voice, and it speaks
Yeah.
to us, and it speaks to anyone listening today. If we're willing to tune in, I think that's the key today. Tune into it.
Absolutely. And it's within reach. If you
Oh
have that,
yes.
yeah, if you have that ability, or if you have that privilege, just, instead of go, 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 what about just stay and listen and see what comes to you, and, you know, pay attention. That's what it's about. Um, it's a lot of things are, always happening in both of our lives, but this is what I've been thinking about. And the other thing is, we do talk about encouragement a lot. I also want everyone to listen to this. If you see somebody's being ugly, somebody's being impatient, or just instead of a judgment, understand, okay, there's something happening. Maybe they need a power for control. Maybe they need to exert something or let their anger out. You can pray for them or on their behalf. And the second thing is, you don't have to you don't have to embrace the anger. You don't have to embrace the ugliness. You can rise above it. Like, if you have the light inside of you, let it burn. Let it burn. So others will see it, say, "Huh, I only thought the way out, or the way, to move, is just, be angry, be upset." But I think the truth is, that's not the only way forward. You can burn with your light. You can burn and say, "Hey, you don't have to make somebody feel small to make yourself feel bigger." Like, today at the grocery store, there was interaction. The woman right in front of me was talking to the cashier, and she said, "Oh, this is the price. I want to pay this price." And the cashier, just said, "Oh, I cannot do anything. This is not my view, not my purview." And the woman just got more agitated, more aggravated, and the difference probably was less than $1 for maybe like a takeout meal. But there was just this anger. There was just this feeling to beat down somebody, and it was just so ugly to see that. And I thought to myself, well, maybe something going on with that woman. The other thing is, you don't have to be like that. So, can hear you, my friend.
Sometimes we have to call it out, Mark. I
Yeah.
was at a Cracker Barrel restaurant probably 2 months ago, and a lady had been in the as we were walking out of the restaurant. She was walking in, about to be seated, and she was berating the host, saying how bad that is, and blah, you know. And I stopped them, and I said, "Ma'am, This young lady here has been at work all day. You're talking about issues you've had with other Cracker Barrels, and you're not even giving this one a chance. I said, and I said, why would you come to a restaurant that you're going to just feel so negatively about? I said, this young lady did nothing to you, and please stop. And she said, who are you? And I said, I'm Nick Patterson. and
That's great.
and I just want you to calm down. And her husband was there with her, and she's like, "You're gonna let him say this to me?" I said, "I bet he's thought it a lot because you're embarrassing yourself, and you're probably embarrassing him. Have a nice evening, ma'am." And I walked off, and I know, or hopped along, but I know that she will think twice before doing that in public again and before being so mean. We don't need people to be that mean. And you have a choice. You have a choice whether you're going to wake up and, some folks feel the rain and others get wet. What
Mhm.
are you going to do? Um, and
Yeah.
why do you think the world has gotten so mean?
If this is the if we could answer that question with our book, I think we would have achieved the objectives. But I think we're still figuring this one out. Maybe this is a cycle that we just need to go through. And but you know what I'm seeing? You know what I'm seeing? You know what gives me hope?
Please tell.
That I see around parents the way they talk to their children. Not everyone, but they talk to their children, and there's this understanding that this child is a spiritual being. None of the parents have it figured out, right? You're a parent. All parents trying to do their best, and now nobody figures it out. But they see this child, and instead of giving into tantrums, they actually see it as a spiritual being. And I'm seeing it more and more. Yeah, of course, I see some, parents losing it here once in a while, but I'm seeing a shift. I'm seeing a shift in parents who are raising their kids as spiritual beings, as beings that are um, capable, they're not trying to you know cuddle them into dependency or codependency. No, no, no. I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing like a spiritual shift. I'm seeing a shift in the way that parents are raising their children. And I don't know about you, I, I didn't really get that when I was a child. Of course, I'm not blaming my parents or anyone. No, no, no. I love them. One has passed, and I love them and I appreciate them and I understand them. But what I'm seeing, this new generation of children is being brought up in a completely different way, and it's more and more and more. And it gives me hope, Nick, that I think we are, the next generation and the generation that is coming up after that, and even now, is going to be a lot more conscientious, conscious, and it actually gives me a great hope. I don't know if you see this as well.
You know, I have observed that. And, you know, as I'm just sitting here thinking through it, I'm asking, what would I say to one of those young people who may be asking, why bother being kind if the world isn't? Why bother being kind if the world isn't? And, you know, and I guess the same thing is, when do we believe that people are mean by nature, and could that preventative, that nurturing, that niceness that we see exhibited now with parents, is that something that's going to shape the nature of their kids? Is it pain that rules mean people experiences, you know or is it, you know Is it that the people that we see, they've all gotten hurt, their dreams have gotten crushed? You know, what makes people like that? Because people do get hurt, their dreams do get crushed. And kindness, at least in my experience, my kindness has been mocked so many times, or it's been questioned because so many others do it either with ill motives or they just don't know how to receive it. But I guess it's, that's why we do what we do, because at the end of the day, the earth is still breathtakingly beautiful. I'm looking outside right now. I see such a beautiful day. You know, I there's unimaginable grace that you and I have both experienced, thanks be to God. And people who love without limits. I've experienced those, and perhaps those parents, that's what they're doing. They're showing their kids, hey, you know, in a sheltered place, love is there.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it, and I see this change, and it's apparent. It's apparent, and I feel so good about it. In just the way that the next generation is going to be brought up, it's not going to be like too much empowerment. I think there's a great balance. Like there's we try too much empowerment or too much. Let's do some more balance. So I see there's a lot of hope coming up.
I love that, because that's what faith is. It's the substance of things hoped for. And that's the kind of hope that's not going to disappoint us. It's not going to disappoint others. It's not going to disappoint those future generations that are coming after us, watching, observing, and seeing that we haven't always handled well what's been given to us. And by that I mean our days. We haven't handled our days well, and we get frustrated.
Mm.
We get frustrated. But, I guess, what do we, and I keep going back to that, we have this hope. What do we do with the hope? What do we do with the meanness? How do we respond? And here's, I guess, the question with that hope is, what kind of world do we want to build, and how do we start? And I think those questions are where we start. We start with really doing such an honest assessment that it makes us so uncomfortable. We ask ourselves the same questions we're asking of them, as it were, of everyone else. We've got to be willing to be part of the solution if we're going to diagnose the problem.
Wow. Well said, my friend.
Thank you. It's just you. It's just this. Your question here is what led to a whole book. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but that question, why is the world so mean these days? It's raw, right? It's honest. It's human, and it deserves so much more than a quick answer or even a book. Um, it does.
Yeah, let us know what you think about this. And just like Nick have said, honest, brutal, uncomfortable self-assessment is a good thing once in a while. And if you are watching us, if you are listening to us, thank you. If you have bought a book, thank you again. If you haven't bought the book, you know, it's available. It's waiting for you, and we're waiting for you to get it so you can tell us what you felt and what you have gathered from it. The other thing to remember is you are not alone. You're not alone. don't feel like you have to isolate, give us a call, text us, send us a message, say, hey, let's do a virtual coffee or in person one, whatever that works. And you're not
Or
alone.
Dr. Pepper.
Whatever floats in your Dr. Pepper. Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
And
Hey, Mark, I've got to tell you about a cool story. I haven't shared this with you yet.
go ahead. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the other day, my assistant's phone broke. The screen wasn't working right, that sort of thing. So we took it. I have the coverage policy, so I dialed in to get an appointment to get the phone repaired. And the most just encouraging voice greeted me from around the world.
Mm.
And he and we talked for, um, I think it was around an hour. But at
Wow.
the end of the conversation, just know I'm now godfather to his yet unborn child, and we we had a whole hour of encouragement back and forth, and I because I thanked him for being so kind, for being so cordial, and yes, I could tell that he had an accent and this and that, but I that doesn't bother me, and we engaged and he looked me up on Facebook. I'm saying all this because if you want to know how to get a hold of us, where there's a will, there's a way. This guy looked me up from around the world and through his mother's Facebook account, nonetheless. And we are now in contact with each other. And why? Because he was so nice. He was so kind, and I wanted to affirm that in him. Because in a world of customer service, when we're on our phone and we're thinking, who is this? Who is that? And we don't want to really let people in. He was that Starbucks girl at the beginning of our book. He was that person because he cried and cried that someone was kind to him from the United States. It meant the world to him that his voice mattered to me. So when you're engaging with people, regardless if they speak the same way you do or not, they're there. Just the way you're not alone, they're not alone. So help remind everyone you meet that.
No, wow. That's a great story, Nick. I
Sorry,
feel encouraged. I feel, as I was listening to you, I'm thinking only Nick gets into the stories. Only Nick does it. Like he makes a friend out of anywhere or anytime. I mean, you like, okay, that's it. We're gonna be best buddies. That's it. I'm gonna come and do this. And the only person that does this is you.
oh,
That I know of. That you're that kind of person, 100%.
well, I appreciate that, but it's true. It's true. We are able to make friends if we choose to make friends. We are able to connect with people if we're willing to.
Yeah,
But
amen.
it's just us. And the other question I put in the chat is, what's giving you hope right now? Why has the world gotten so mean? But then, what's giving you hope right now? That gave me hope, Mark. That gave me hope that we've not gone so far that we've lost our way, and be part of it. Be part of this encouragement movement today. Go out and change the world. Today's your day. That's all I've got for us.
I think it's beautiful. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone who watched and will watch it. We appreciate you.
Have a great week. We will see you right here next week.
Absolutely. Thank you all.